Hey everyone, it's Eric Unrated.
And Nick Neon.
And we're going to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming today.
Yes, we're going to do like a spoiler-free part first, like a general what our thoughts were and how we felt watching it.
Yeah.
And then we'll make it very clear that we're entering spoiler mode and then let you know some of our thoughts about the more interesting like plot twists in the film. But yeah, I guess
there were
a few. There was
like, ooh, naughty! Me, the forebearer of the future, didn't see that coming. Whatever
That's
the fuck
true.
that means.
He predicts everything in movies, and there was one moment where everyone in the theater was like, But okay, wait. So let's just
Okay, so
So things we liked. First,
Tom Holland.
Yeah, it goes without saying. Tom Holland. It's like I feel like growing up I got so used to Tobey Maguire because that was like the come up and that was the first live action superhero of Spider-Man version of him. But then it's like in retrospect from the cartoons up until now in the comics I realized Tom Holland truly is the most archetypal version of him. Like the youngest, like literally he feels like a kid he felt like a kid who has these bigger responsibilities but he feels like a kid, and I realized that watching this movie I'm like that is a really interesting thing. He's not even an adult yet, which was really great and cool.
Yeah, he portrayed that like perfectly. Like I actually felt like everyone was in high school. Like I didn't even think about it. I was just like, oh, they're all in high school. Like these are high school problems. I mean, there was jungle fever galore in this movie. I mean, I ain't mad at it. But yeah, I was like, okay, all right.
Well, okay, so to say something toward the film, I was not only surprised but so glad to see how diverse the film was. Like the high school scenes, and like all the characters, like between Zendaya and then like Peter Parker's best friend
and whatever the hell the love interest.
Yeah, like Liz. Like it's just like it was just like really you could tell that they understood Queens, which since we're both from Queens.
That's what I leaned into.
I felt like I was watching Queens. Like I was watching kids in Queens. It was.
I leaned in during the movie. Do you remember? And I was like, they got that Queens diversity down.
The problem.
It was like being back in high school. It was like, oh, there's the goth bitch, just as pale. Where's your umbrella though?
I thought they did like a really dope job of like selling Queens and like high school. Like in Queens, like
the Vulture.
Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
Holy hell, he has a thing for flying.
He clearly he's the Birdman and Batman, and now he's the Vulture. He's
I see
Michael
a theme developing.
Michael Keaton's a flying mammal.
He was one of my favorite Marvel villains. I didn't even think of it.
Yeah, I'd argue he's kind of the best villain they've had so far.
Because he had perfect motivation behind everything he was doing, and then. Like, he specifies, like, I'm doing this for my family, and not just because he's, like, pissed off at, like, having his job taken away or anything. I'm not trying to get into spoilers or whatnot.
It's the opening of the film.
Yeah. Which was
awesome.
Great,
yeah. It's like, think of Dark Knight and the Joker's opening, like, and that sets the tone for the whole film. This one had a similar thing where, like, you meet the villain before you meet Spider-Man officially in the film, and... I was watching it and I was like, that's an interesting dynamic to open the film with Michael Keaton instead of Peter Parker, instead of Tom Holland or whatever. But like, it worked, and I was like, and it made sense throughout the whole film.
Like I was on board, I was behind, like even.
I got him. I got why he would.
I was rooting for both of them. Yeah. Honestly, I was like, if you fuck up Spider-Man, all right, and like that's natural selection. If he fucks you up, all right, that's natural selection.
And also I was deeply satisfied with Zendaya.
I loved her.
She's like a mini tour de force. I love how quirky she was.
It was so fun and like refreshing to see her be so quirky and odd, and we know girls
and
like
smart.
That.
Right.
Smart.
And she was like this smart. I mean, like, not to say it, but it's kind of true. It's like not only was she a smart girl, but she was like a black girl. Like she's like a smart black girl who wasn't a stereotype. Like I just love that all the characters in the film were not stereotyped, and they all felt like unique. And like if they were different, it was because of their personality and like what they brought to the table, not their race. That was beautiful for me. Obviously, we're both mixed kids from Queens. It's like I really loved that about it, and it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like they were trying to meet a quota to fill. It just felt so naturally a part of it.
That's the thing. Anyone who's from Queens, especially, knows. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, that's so accurate. Like that's exactly how it is.
So, what would you rate? So, what would you rate the film out of 10?
See, I did really enjoy it. But for some reason, the entire time I was watching it, I couldn't shake this feeling of like, did we need this? Did we? And And it's not even like I'm burned out by rebooting and rebooting.
I am.
I mean, I kind of am, because like my problem with the previous ones, with the Amazing Spider-Man, was they rebooted it, but it felt like they were just rehashing things from Sam Raimi's. But at least the villain in this was better. Like I did enjoy like the high school aspect, the characters, like all the like it was great. I loved it, but I did have that feeling the entire time, and I think I'd give it like a 7.5, 8-ish. But I'm gonna say like a 7.5, and I'm sure like the more I watch it, the more I'll come to love it, especially if there's good special features. How about you?
I'm torn. I feel the same way. I think I wonder if I'd feel. I think I'd give it a 7.5 too. Actually, I thought I would give it like an 8, but like a solid, I think 7.5, because while it was really good and great and enjoyable and fun, it didn't offer anything new to like superhero genre films. Like it felt like every other superhero film, and I just wish it came out sooner. Like I wish it had come out, somewhere earlier in the Marvel cinematic universe or in superhero films in general, because I think it deserves all its praise. But like, for me, the saving grace of the film is how much they focus on Peter Parker and Spider-Man as this like coming into his own character, which reminded me of Wonder Woman last month, and how much I loved that film too.
Like that.
For the same reason. Like I like these superhero stories that are like more focused on the hero becoming something greater. It felt very solid and singular and focused on Peter Parker's journey. I like that. Yeah. So that for that reason, definitely 7.5. I'd change it 8. I'd give it an 8 because it's definitely enjoyable. I definitely will buy it.
Decisive.
No, because I thought like I gave Wonder Woman an 8, and I feel the same way about this movie. So yeah, and I like the villain more in this movie than I did in Wonder Woman. So it's only fair. Now we're gonna switch into spoiler mode. Warning! Spoilers!
Now that you've been warned.
Now that you've been amply.
Because like if you say
amply a word.
What?
Is amply a word?
I don't think so.
Like now that you have had ample warning.
There you go.
I gotta start this off with the fucking ferry scene. Like I get that it was like some big ass, like set piece sequence, but I was not having it. How that ship did not sink. How the hell did the ferry not go underwater? There was so much motherfucking water coming through the thing when it split open. It's a big ass metal ass ship. It's not floating anymore. It doesn't have a solid bottom. I don't care if he was holding it together from the side. Like, it should have sunk. And the fact that they managed to not only like keep it afloat and also get it back together, I was like, I'm all for that, but I was not for it.
I was trying to tell him, I was like, well, what happened is like the angle, see, like the water thing didn't flood. And he was like,
The plot twist. Okay.
The one that me, the mistress of all evil with foresight into the future, did not see coming.
He sees everything coming like ahead of time in a movie. All of us in the theater, literally, that's the first time in a while that there was a collective gasp in the whole audience. Everybody went,
I was like, y'all see that? Oh shit, y'all see that? His white ass is her father.
No, seriously, no. That was some crazy shit. Because basically it's like towards the end of the film, Peter Parker finally has the courage to like admit he likes his love interest.
He nutted up and was like, let's go, girl.
Her name's Liz. She's like a senior. It's important to state that she's black, because like when he gets to the door, he's got his corsage and everything. And he's ready to and the moment he hits the bell, the door opens, and it's Michael Keaton. And Michael Keaton, the Vulture, is her fucking father. And it's like that. I thought that was like a great use of like not only of like having an interracial family in a film and not treating it like any negative way or whatever.
They're keeping the Jungle Fever theme going.
Oh god! But it was like a great use of like throwing us the fuck off guard.
Yeah.
Like, because we
and it felt like a perfectly natural twist.
It felt so
it didn't
honest.
feel like
And like Michael Keaton decides to drive him to the prom, and there's this great exchange in the car.
Holy shit! That exchange was like I was so uncomfortable, and I was like, what's going to happen? Like, he knows who he is. Like, how does this go from here?
He pulls a gun out. I was like, oh.
I forgot about that.
And he's like,
I totally forgot about that. I was like, ooh, shoot him. I don't care. Like, honestly, whichever one of y'all kills each other, I'm cool with it. What did you think of the final battle, by the way?
With the plane?
Yeah.
I thought I thought it was a cool set piece. I liked the camouflage of the plane going like haywire as it's crashing.
Oh.
And how it was like just lighting up in weird ways, because it like that to me felt in tune with the whole tone of the film, looking like a cartoon.
Yeah.
I remember like watching that, and then when the plane's about to crash into Coney Island Beach, I thought it was a cool set piece, better than the fucking ferry, but I didn't like. Like let's put 2 and 2 together and not make 5. Like that's 4. Like ship broken in half, heavy water equal down. But no,
Staten Island.
the moment they like landed on the beach and there's that final moment,
that's
it was alright.
Like
yeah,
that.
it was
like because the whole air sequence. Like,
yeah, it was really it was cool, and then it was like I wanted more from Michael Keaton. At the very last minute became typical supervillain. Instead of really, like, I felt like he would have been smarter than that to know that those materials would probably explode or something. I don't know.
Well, one thing, right now, they kept talking about that, like, high altitude thing, and they're like, are you crazy? Are you crazy?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
And then, like, when they finally did it, I was like, so? Like, making it sound like y'all motherfuckers is going to outer space or something. Shit,
yeah,
bitch. Like, whatever. Although it was awesome watching it, like, yeah. I was just like, I don't get why they made such a big thing about this, but what made me love Michael Keaton even more was when he was in jail at the end.
Oh yeah,
and then
he
like,
didn't
I
tell.
heard, like, I done heard that you know who Spider-Man is, and he was like, well, if I did, he'd be dead.
That was a good way to keep, like, his character's, like, toughness.
Yeah.
But also give him, like, such humanity,
Yeah.
which is something that is great. That Michael Keaton killed it. Speaking of I feel like everyone in their roles killed it, but the fucking superstar for me was Zendaya. Like, I just loved her.
Oh
And the whole film, like, her name's, like, Michelle, and, like, I thought it was genius the way that, like, she turns out to be Mary Jane, because at the very end she's like, yeah, they just call me MJ.
My friends call me MJ.
My friends,
I was like, what friends,
MJ.
bitch?
She's just such a unique character. Like, the fact that she was in detention for no reason, and she was like, I just like to draw people's misery or whatever, and then she shows the guy who's, like, holding detention.
But then it cuts to Peter later, and she's like...
Yeah, no, and then at the prom, that's like one of my favorite moments, when, like, Peter looks into prom, and he sees everyone, like, dancing and all his friends, and, like, MJ is, like, in the back, she's like...
I was like, wow, you petty bitch.
But it's like, I do that with you.
There was no spider sense in the movie, which was odd.
Right.
And I guess I didn't really mind, but it was just odd for me because, like, they showed it in Civil War. Like, we know he has it, but at no point was it present in here. Like, Vulture was like, oh, caw-caw! Like 47 times. And he was like, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah.
So it was just odd that, like, and then he didn't realize his best friend was in the room. Like, he didn't know there was another presence. He didn't realize Aunt May was behind him.
There was a lot of missing Spidey sense stuff.
So, and again, like, if they didn't show it in Civil War, I would have been fine.
Right, that would have set the tone for that character.
It seems like they were like, and that's a wrap. Ooh.
Did we forget to put the Spidey sense in?
Okay. Should we
Okay.
go back?
Nah.
Or fuck it.
No, wait. And then, like, also, what was the other thing that I thought was... I loved that Jennifer Connelly was the voice of Karen for the suit,
my
which
God,
is genius
so
because,
good.
like, Jarvis is Paul Bettany, which is her husband. So it's an interesting thing to have, like,
Yes.
both of them be the voices.
I didn't know that they
It's
touched
hot like
on it.
Africa.
Eh. I mean, we keep it in theme with that jungle fever once again.
Stop.
Jungle fever. I won't say what I said during the movie. Yes, I will. Jungle pussy.
Lord.
Another thing I loved in the movie was how they touched on him not having anything to swing off of.
Yeah, that was great. He swings and hits the floor because there's nothing left. It's like a giant field, and then he has to run the rest. And he's like, "This sucks." I love the movie.
You know what?
I'd give it an 8. Solid 8. Yeah,
Definitely
the more
a
we're
solid
talking
8,
about, definitely an 8.
And I'm sure that'll grow. Like
It might.
the more I watch it.
Or my fury for the fairy sequence may grow.
I'm
calling it that, the fury of the fairy, like the fairy fury
The
sequence.
Staten Island Fury.
Oh my god.
I guess that's it.
That's pretty much it. Overall, like, really good movie. Like, great entry into, like, MCU. Like, great way to introduce Spider-Man on his own.
Mm-hmm. And I heard that they're only going to do 2 Spider-Man movies with Marvel.
Yeah, so
before
there's
like
one more.
returning him back, and like also doing Avengers and whatnot. But I think that's kind of a smart idea. I feel like let's not. There's already enough characters flooding the MCU as is, and I love Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong, but like, I think it's a good thing to like keep it short and sweet, and then maybe go off and do something with Sony.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll partner together so they don't fuck it up.
There's more to appreciate than not fairy.
It's definitely the best Spider-Man movie since 2. The original 2.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spider-Man, I got my Spider-Man bow on. Didn't even let you guys guess that one because it's so easy. But ABowtiqueShop made this. You can find them on Etsy and Instagram. We'll plug that down below in the details as always. And thank you guys for watching. I know you like to take this part. So.
You bastard. I was zoned out. I was like, what am I going to eat tonight? As always, also, please make sure to like our videos if you like what we have to say or what we're about. Also, please share our videos and subscribe.
And send us Wendy's. I want Wendy's.
Yeah, I know. Send us Wendy's to our P.O. box that we don't have.
But send it. We'll find it. We'll sniff it out.
All right. Deuces.